Hey guys, it's Mike here with Grow Indoors 365, and we are back with episode 4. Let's call it nourishment. Let's call it the, intermittent kind of middle part before we go into the reservoirs. Now, as I mentioned to you in episode 3, this is what it looks like. This is the incubator where the seeds start to thrive. Now, you can't see amongst this nice little mist right here, but this is where they start growing. This is where they start developing. This is where they start gaining their roots, their strength, trying to make it in this world right before we eat them. As you can see here, it's completely covered up with basically like a must. Okay, it's basic sweat. Okay, because inside we have cubes that I've been watering. Okay, every single day. And before I lift this, let me just show you how I go about doing that. Now, I basically get something like this. Okay, this is what I use all the time for the nourishment process. Here's what you're gonna need. You're gonna need something like this just to hold your. This is water. Okay, I also added some of the like a growing enzyme to improve root development, and I have my syringe. Now I'm gonna show you why I use this syringe in just a second. So after I added the enzyme, I also, and that's the silica is what I'm talking about for root development. After I added that, the pH obviously rises. I left it at about I think it's at a 6.8 to 6.9. Okay? So, and what I do is basically, when I'm feeding them in this process, I basically go like this. So as you can see, put that in the water. Kind of tough with one hand, but I think I can handle it. And there you go. This is what I do. Now it's fully kind of full of water. Now let me show you what I do with that. Okay, let's go back to the actual incubator and let me take this thing off. And here's what we have, guys. Now this has kind of been an up and down situation for the last few days that I've been monitoring. Let me reduce the brightness here. So we have the romaines here. Now they're looking pretty good. Now I'm not sure exactly how many days it's been. I think it's been like 3 to 4 days since I inserted our seedlings into the rock walls. Now at times, some of them get dry pretty quickly. Bottom line is, this entire row is doing really well. Let's just get a little closer look. Look how nice they're doing. They're thriving along. Let's just see. This is how you check for root development. It's a little early. I'm guessing this is the part that takes a little while. And also, just so you know, initially, just like 2 days ago, I've only been giving them water. Okay, and remember I mentioned to you guys, not all of them make it. Well, this is a perfect example on why you do extra. Okay, these romaines are doing okay. This one probably will not survive. This one, maybe will survive. This one, maybe. This is the one butter lettuce, for whatever reason, nothing's gonna happen with this guy. This guy's done. This is not gonna survive. These are the basils. This one will probably do well, potentially will do well, and for some reason, these guys did not take it. Now, I'm not gonna be blaming anybody else but myself. I did leave these cubes for a little over 24 hours. Maybe they soaked up too much water. Maybe they were a little more acidic than they needed to be, because once the stem goes inside, if the acidity is too low or too high, okay, I'm not going to say that I'm so scientific in that aspect, but I don't know. Potentially, it could have caused the developing seed stems to not produce the head as it should have been due to certain acidity levels. Also, it could have been the light infrequent. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes it's a hit or miss. Okay, you're growing stuff not commercially. You're growing stuff indoors, and we're just trying to do the best we can. This is the situation now. So what am I going to do? I'm going to have to germinate some more and get more going. But this series will continue. This is episode for nourishment. This is what happens in this stage in time. We're basically waiting for the development to happen, and all we're waiting for. Oh, look at that. I just grabbed one. Let me get the perfect light. Do you guys see that little tail right there? And I'm certain that you do. That little tail. Okay, that is its root, because the reason why I picked that one is because it looked like the most developed. It looked good. Now, as you can see there, the root's finally coming out, and that is awesome. That means these guys, literally, I think I'm going to give them another 3 to 4 days, okay, to develop a little bigger, and then we're going to go into episode 5, and I'm going to call that reservoir control. Okay, that's when we're going to be placing these into the pods, setting the reservoirs up with our aerator stones. We're going to be putting water in them, and in the middle of probably, actually episode 5 might just be reservoir setup, and then episode 6 will be the placing these little guys into actually their reservoirs. All right, so as we continue on, I will keep informing you and keep showing you on what has to be done. Now, here's what happens in this part. Let me show you real quick. Here is the nourishing part. So what do? This will make a cool thumbnail for this video. So check it out. All I do is take my huge syringe, okay, and I go like this. See that? Sometimes you can pour it over. I just get crazy sometimes. You just get them wet. That's it. Give the roots some water. All right, now I'm going to go back in. I'm going to go back in and get some more. Okay, until I've done all the necessary plants that are currently requiring water. And that's all there is to it. This is the process that we all wait the longest. Okay, all we want to do is just add some nice water, and that's it. Keep these guys from being dry, because you don't want them to dry out. All right, you do not want them to dry out. And when they're unattended, or anything could happen in the situation, because they're already under the light, but you want to make sure that they stay healthy. So it's really important that you continuously watch them and make sure that they do not get dry. And I'm hoping that these little guys make it, so I don't have to germinate a ton more seeds. Even though, I don't care. I have so many seeds, and I'll be probably buying some more. But seeds are so cheap. It's ridiculous. But anyway, guys, this is episode 4, nourishment. As you saw, basically we're just feeding them some water. I consistently add water. You want to make sure it's pH properly. And as soon as I've added water, I kind of, when I get home from work, I kind of just keep this open. I let them just kind of sit there, okay? And I just, basically just watch after them. And around the evening time, in just a few hours, I'll go ahead and put that dome back on, so that during the nighttime, also, I just remembered something that I wanted to mention in this video. At this time of year where I am, I'm using the AC more. What does that mean? That means it's much colder in my house. And that means that these guys might grow a little slower due to the fact that it's a little colder in my home. Not that it's, not that during the wintertime, we're obviously pumping heat. It's warmer outside the tent. So that makes it a little warmer in here, and the humidity is much higher. So that could actually cause a development of these in the summertime inside my home to develop slower. And in the winter times when it's much warmer, they develop faster. It's just a hypothesis. Could be true, might not be true. But I have a good feeling that that might be a factor, because why do we use a heat mat? Because warmth is what allows the germination process to speed up. That's why we use a heat mat, because without the heat mat, obviously the water will be colder and it's going to take longer to develop the seeds into developing plants like this. And that's really it. This is where I'm going to end it. Stay tuned for episode 5, and I'll be with you guys shortly. Hey guys, thanks so much for visiting the channel here at Grow Indoors 365 on YouTube. On the right side of your screen, there's going to be our logo showing up. That's our subscription button. Make sure you hit it. This way you get email notifications
every single time I upload a new video in regards to either a new episode or brand new uploads during the week on current statuses of the indoor grow operation. I want to thank you again for watching. Stay tuned for more, and I'll catch you on the next one.